Hi, this is Keith. Welcome to part 2 of what I'm going to call Tune Talk. A couple of weeks ago I did the first part of this piece. It's called FreeWheeler for Kenny. It's a piece that I wrote in honor of Kenny Wheeler, the great flugelhorn trumpet player, composer, band leader. I had a chance to meet him back in 1985 at the Banff Jazz Workshop, and he's been a big influence on me. So anyway, this piece is 2 parts. So a couple weeks ago, like I said, I did the first part. Today I'm going to play and talk about the second part. If you want to follow along, you can go to my website, keithdavismusic.com, and you can download a lead sheet. You can follow along. I hope you'll do that. I'm going to be putting lead sheets of all my tunes on my website eventually, and recordings too. So I hope you'll go there and take advantage of that and play my tunes and enjoy them. And if you like this video, you can also make a small donation if you like from my website. Every little bit helps. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this. FreeWheeler for Kenny, part 2. Okay, so here we go. To begin with, as I said in the first video about this piece, there's a piece of shared material that's a vamp that connects the 2 parts of this tune together. So I'm going to just start with that vamp. It actually transitions from 4/4, the first part of this piece, to the second part, and it transitions into 3/4. So usually I'll do that during this vamp. If you listen to my CD, which you can find on my website, you'll hear that Justin, our drummer, does a drum solo, and he transitions during his drum solo from 4/4 to 3/4, and then he brings us back in. But if I'm playing it by myself or sometimes with the trio, whatever different situations, I'll just do that transition myself. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just start with this vamp in 4/4 and do a little transition to 3/4, and then I'm just going to play through the tune once, maybe solo through it one time, and then we'll talk about it, okay? Okay, so once again, this tune is introduced by this vamp. It's actually, the vamp is here at the end of the piece, the last, 8 bars of this. And we talked about this on the first video. It's just F minor to a G flat, Lydian over F is how I think about it. I won't go into that again since we talked about it. But this is kind of important because this same vamp occurs throughout this piece. just in different keys. The same idea of this minor 7 chord with basically natural minor scale, and then so that major 7 chord a half step above, but with the same root. I think of it as Lydian, even though you could call it F Phrygian or whatever minor chord you happen to be playing at the time. But I just like to think of it as Lydian. So anyway, I went into that on the first part of this video actually. But anyway, so from the beginning of the tune, we're in F minor, and then we have 2 bars of F minor. Then we go to this chord, which is A major 7 Lydian again. So this A major 7 Lydian, it could also be G flat Dorian or F sharp Dorian, whatever you call it. But I just prefer this sound. Just has a little bit more tension, a little more interest to it. So anyway, F minor, and then G minor, and I think of this as Dorian, and then the G flat major 7 again. Lydian again, back to F minor. So this second system here, G minor to G flat Lydian, it's almost like a 2/5 going down to F minor, but it's not really standard 2/5 in the key of F minor because I'm playing Dorian here, and then I'm playing this this Lydian mode here. So it kind of functions as 2/5, but it's not really 2/5. You could almost say this G flat is a tritone sub for C7. It's pretty close to C7, except it's not C7 either. It would be, I guess that would be C7, what, Locrian? So it's not really dominant 7 even, but it is kind of functions as a 2/5. And that happens several times in this piece as well. I'll point that out as we go along. So anyway, after that, so I'll do that again. Back to F minor, to the A7 again, and then back to G minor, and to G flat again, or F sharp. I called it F sharp here because it's dominant 7 going to B minor. So we're changing keys to B minor here at this point. So this does function as a 2/5, even though this is Dorian. It's not really 2 in the key of B minor, but it functions as a 2 of this F sharp 7. Which is the 5 in the key of B minor, okay? So whenever we do this and get to this minor chord with this vamp, this is B minor up to the C. Same thing I was talking about here over the F minor. It just does it over the B minor now. It just goes up to C Lydian over B. So there it happens again. This chord, this F sharp dominant 7, it's really 5th mode of harmonic minor, 5th mode of B harmonic minor. As I said in the other video about the first part of this piece, whenever I play that harmonic minor mode, I like to just add the sharp 9, or really just keep it in there. It's really part of that scale anyway, really. It's part of B minor 7. It's just that when we get harmonic minor, we generally do that, but that note is still part of that B minor universe in a way, so you're not really changing. I just say instead of adding that note, I just change that note, I add it. I mean, instead of changing it, I add it. So I get flat 9 and sharp 9 in that scale. And the reason I like that harmonic minor, 5th mode of harmonic minor, is because I get the 5th of the chord in the scale and in the chord, along with the flat 13. So I get this, and I also get, so I get all these tensions in there, but I still get to keep the basic structure of the chord as well. You could also play an altered scale here over F sharp, and that happens again whenever you have that that dominant 7 chord. Here's another one here, there's another one somewhere down here. You can always play altered scale over those dominant 7th chords as well, and in this case it would be F sharp altered, which is a mode of G minor, G melodic minor over F sharp. So this is G melodic minor. It's the 7th mode of G melodic minor with F sharp in the bass. So you can play either one of those dominant 7 scales, and you could do some other stuff. I'm sure you could play diminished. You could do some other stuff too, but those are the basic one. I like to start by thinking of it as a mode of harmonic minor, and then go from there. So anyway, let's take it again from that G minor where it goes to the B minor here on the 4th system. There's the sharp 9, B minor, C major over B. Here's another. So there's another place where we have this thing that's like a 2-5, a little bit deceptive. It's going to C minor here. But it starts from this A flat minor 7, which is not relative to C minor really, and it doesn't really have anything in common except that it functions as the 2 in this case of this G7. And once again, this G7, sharp 9, flat 9. So once again, it's 5th mode of harmonic minor with the sharp 9 included, or it can be altered, you know. And then the C minor here, this is the same vamp again that we just did over B minor. We're now doing it over C minor, with going between C minor, which is natural minor, to D flat over C, D flat major 7 over C, which is Lydian, D flat Lydian over C. So we get. Okay, so let's play the first half of the tune up to that point. So now we're going to go to the second half of the tune. The second half of this tune, or second part, I don't know however you want to think about it, it's the same material as the first half, except the first half is in, or first part is in F minor, and this is now in C minor. But it's basically the same material in a different key, the key of C minor. So starting from here with this double bar, the second part, this is the next part. E major 7, D minor, D flat, whoops, excuse me, made a little mistake there, but okay, so once again, and that's the end, then we go back to the beginning. Okay, so once again, this is all the same material in C minor. Same thing with that Lydian, E Lydian. D minor is Dorian. I think of it as Dorian. You could do, I guess you could play that too if you wanted to make it a little darker, but I think of it as Dorian generally. And then D flat with this Lydian. Natural minor, E major 7, Lydian, E minor. I think of this one as natural minor, although I think you could probably play Dorian too. You could play Dorian as well. There's an A flat minor. We did the E flat 7. Here's the same E flat, the same dominant 7, little 2-5 E minor to E flat. I didn't write it, but sharp 9 again. And here we go, A flat minor. We're in the key of A flat natural minor there. Same thing again as we did here with the vamp over F, the vamp here over C minor, the B minor vamp. Same thing, natural minor up to Lydian. And then this little sort of deceptive 2-5 to F minor. Which, if you remember from the first part of this tune that I did the other video on a few weeks ago, this happens as well in that tune, except in that case we go to F major at that point. I don't know if you remember that from the other video or if you've seen it, but same thing. It's just like a 2-5. This functions as 2 of this dominant 7. Again, same thing. 5th mode harmonic minor, flat 9, sharp 9, So I'm going to play the whole tune from the beginning, and I'll solo over it just a little bit, just to give you an idea about how it sounds. So from the vamp. FreeWheeler for Kenny. Okay, that was FreeWheeler for Kenny, part 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to get a lead sheet. Again, my website is keithdavismusic.com. I'm also on jazzonthetube.com. If you go there, you can find a page where I'm doing some live streams and some other videos, and Scott Yenow wrote a real nice review of me there on Jazz on the Tube. It's a really great resource for musicians. I also have a YouTube channel. It's under my name, Keith Davis Music. So I hope you'll visit my website. I hope you'll stay in touch. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm happy to answer any questions about my music in particular. So I wish you the best. Thanks for listening.